You know, it's actually been a minute since I looked at the PlayStation 5 box. This thing is completely massive. This has got to be the biggest game console box I've ever seen by such a huge margin. But today, we got to talk about the PlayStation 5 because there is seemingly a leaked model that's now going around, some sort of revised edition. But I'm here to tell you, don't get hyped yet. What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here, and over the course of the last couple months, I've been talking to a lot of subscribers and reading the comments section, and a gigantic thing I keep seeing again and again is people saying, I want to buy the PlayStation 5, but can't. This shortage is completely insane. The amount of people that are trying to play games like Ratchet & Clank or excited about trying out the DualSense for themselves is huge. This has got to be one of the most hyped console cycles I've ever seen in my life, but the shortage is insane. There is just so many people that are trying to purchase these, but there's just none in stock. Every time there's Twitter accounts talking about deals or updates, they're sold out in a matter of seconds. And to me, it shows that we're having a supply and demand issue. Now, Sony seems to have a solution for this eventually. They've actually been talking in interviews and stuff about the fact that they want to try and redesign the PlayStation 5 to make it where it'll be easier to produce. Now, this is an article from back in May, and essentially what they've been talking about is that currently a big part of the shortage problem comes down to the fact that there's just not enough microchips and microprocessors. The actual technology required to make the PlayStation 5, as much as we all love it, these pieces are incredibly scarce. The supply and demand of the technical aspects are just not at all aligned. So eventually, it seems like currently in Sony Labs, they're working on something that's going to make the PlayStation 5 easier to build. Their technicians are hard at work trying to make some sort of solution, basically a way to try and make the PlayStation 5 with different parts that hopefully aren't quite so rare. But I want to say this because I do believe that that system, this different version of the PlayStation 5 with the same power and same graphics, but with different internals, I think that's coming a long time from now. But people have been curious about it. But this patent that just popped up, this is not the revision you may believe. The PlayStation 5 Digital Model has been revised and is now lighter and includes a new screw. Now, part of the reason a lot of people have been sending me this, I think the reason a lot of subscribers are kind of curious, is because this model is strangely lighter. It seems like the guts, whatever they've decided to put inside this thing, it's pretty clear that Sony is already trying to test out different ways of making this basically work, trying to find different combinations to make the insides as efficient, as cheap as possible. Now, this has happened in the past. There's been different models of the PlayStation 2 before we got to the PlayStation 2 Slim, or even the PlayStation 3. There were different variations of the base model PlayStation 3 before we ever got close to the PS3 Slim, or the PS3 Ultra Slim. Sony is constantly trying to find the cheapest way to produce the console and basically mass throw it out there so everybody can buy it. Now, I want to back this up with some facts. This is the original leak. This is the guy who found it. It is a patent. Now, this is all in Japanese. I did auto-translate it, but the biggest thing you need to know is basically in here, if you look at it, it's the exact same power. It's the exact same thing. Everything in this is the same console. It just has a little bit of different construction materials. And also now the screw on the bottom is a little bit easier to do. I'm curious about why they're doing this now, because it's interesting that they didn't just hold off what seems to be such a tiny change, but I think that it's just that Sony is trying to make these systems as fast as possible. This console generation has just been so unique, and honestly, I feel like it's going to go down into the history books, because while people have been excited for previous consoles like the PlayStation 3 or even things like the Xbox 360, when it came to the 360, people were literally lining up to try and grab these things too. But I feel like there was a difference because there was a certain amount of these. People were still trying to grab them to play games in HD and playing things like Call of Duty. But where we're at now, these massive amounts of people that are scalping them, the scammers, the amount of people that are trying to sell anything that even looks like a PlayStation 5, I feel like what's happening now is that the demographic of hardcore gamers is exploding. The amount of us out here, like, look at the fact that so many hundreds of thousands of people watch this show, which gigantic big thank you to you guys. But think about this. This could not have existed a couple years ago. It genuinely blows my mind and kind of just makes me happy to consider the amount of people that have started gaming with the PlayStation 4 or the Nintendo Switch. Like the amount of people that have just started gaming for the first time ever in the last 5 years. That is a gigantic demographic. New hardcore gamers. And those people are probably the individuals that are the most hyped, if anything, for the PlayStation 5 because they're the ones that are most laser focused on what is new. This is their first fresh console generation, maybe ever. I think that this console revision is hopefully coming soon. PlayStation, you got a bit of a problem on your hands. You've managed to build up too much of a hype train. People are so ready to try and buy the next generation of your tech that they're trying desperately to get it at any cost. The sooner you make this cheaper, more efficient, different cobbled together parts of duct tape and dreams version of the PlayStation 5 and start selling it, you're going to win this console generation, I hope. But these revisions, they can take a bit. It's not just a matter of taking out one graphics card and putting in a different graphics card. This is very much about solving the mathematical process of how do we make our system work and keep it under the current price. With all the talk about PlayStation 5 exclusives of Deathloop or even Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut dropping that new delicious trailer today, it's making me think that this is a problem that needs a solution as fast as possible. Really, we're in this weird panic mode where everybody is so excited that the train is accidentally falling off the tracks, and I'm kind of just fascinated by that. I guess we're going to see, but this has been an interesting advancement. Even if this particular system is just a stupid screw and some lighter pieces inside of it, I still think it's setting the tone. It's showing the fact that PlayStation is trying to make this work for all of us as soon as possible. But what do you think? Have you had a chance to look at this latest PlayStation 5? Do you think this might be more than I assume? Please tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all, and keep dreaming. I feel so naked without my glasses on. I like to wear my glasses, but you guys have told me I look good without them, so I'm going to go back to the no glasses look. Much love. Okay, so I just want to sneak this in here at the very end of the video because it is a PlayStation 5 themed topic. A bunch of y'all have been asking me if I plan on doing any sort of like specialized content about Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut. Yes, I am, but I don't want to say yet. So there is some stuff coming up in the next couple weeks. It's going to be extremely fun. I definitely think you should be hyped about it, and keep your eyes peeled for more PS5 stuff very, very soon. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.